We live in a world full of survivors. The walking wounded are everywhere, and I was one of them.
Kelly Gunter survived a childhood of abuse, only to go down a path of self-destruction and food addiction that nearly killed her.
There's so much more than weight loss. It's a story of trauma and survival and getting through the unthinkable.
It's hard to get over a fear of the dark when your monsters were real. And as a child, my monsters weren't hiding in my closet or beneath my bed. They were in it.
How many rape victims have to sit down at night and have dinner with the person who raped them in the afternoon?
But that unhealed trauma was the dictator in the control room of my soul.
We all choose what comes out of our mouths. It really is a choice. I mean, people say, oh, it just came out. It just came out before I knew it. I'd said it. What you say about someone else, 100% of the time, says more about you than it ever says about you.
People have their own reasons why they don't want you to improve yourself. And none of those reasons have anything to do with you.
Eve was the first woman who had her world crushed by a lie. And the snake's been on his belly, and we've been having pain in childbirth ever since. Where is that? To lie to a woman about food.
Your life is proof of what God can do with the broken. Don't give up on broken people.
Realizing how our trauma is intertwined with our addiction. It doesn't matter if your body responded. This is a big one with some survivors. That's a physical response. Physical response does not signify consent. Keep in mind that if you have survived the trauma, then you are strong enough to survive the recovery.
What? No. I just had my couple of pieces. I mean, why is it always me? Why is it always addiction? Did you take more than you were supposed to? Why is it always me?
And what sits right under control is fear. And what's right under fear is pain. Part of that process is not just grieving, but mourning. We have to be able to process that grief at the same time as taking responsibility so that we can come together cohesively. If you think about a tulip, it would say, clearly, this is my grave. I've been dropped in this ground. I'm surrounded in darkness. That's where perception comes in. And as people, we have to say, am I buried or am I planted? Because darkness feels the same for a while. What resiliency says is, I'm going to grow whether you water me or not. Food is the Band-Aid. We have to talk about the wound.
I couldn't use food as comfort anymore, and I didn't know how to deal with my stress.
20% of people who have gastric bypass surgery develop alcohol use disorder, but you can't find genuine connection with other human beings if you don't learn to have a healthy level of vulnerability.
Did you think your book would be #1 when you wrote it?
Yes. Oh, you're going to open Pandora's box. Yeah, but the last thing out of Pandora's box was hope. Looking for the tiniest shred of light in the darkness is what gets us through.